Watson, do you mind if I smoke a cigarette in your consulting room?
To think that you, of all men, should be here in my consulting room. Well, be another spirit at least, my dear chap.
But you will come with me tonight.
When you like, where you like.
Ha! Ha! Watson. This is just like the old days.
It has remained my most treasured possession.
It was a few months later that I read with great interest your description of my death. It was excellently done, a most picturesque and exciting piece of fiction.
Well, I'm certainly glad from the bottom of my heart that it was fiction.
Holmes! Holmes! What? I owe you many apologies, my dear Watson. But it was all important that it should be thought I was dead. And it is quite certain that you would not have written so convincing an account of my unhappy end had you yourself not thought that it was true. I have taken up my pen to write to you, but always I feared lest your affectionate regard might tempt you to some indiscretion which would betray my secret.
I would have thought I was as trustworthy as your brother.
Of course you are, Watson. But you have a kinder heart.
My dear Holmes, please, my bedroom is at your disposal.
No. This will suit me very well. I've had harder beds than this in the past few years.
Excuse me, sir. A moment, if you please.
What is it?
I have it here. I picked it up off the carpet.
Mrs. Hudson, you are becoming indispensable. Come, Watson. Come. The game is afoot. Get your clothes and come. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection. I must admit, Watson, you do have some part of selection.
Thank you.
It atones for much of which I deplore about your narratives. Your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of as a scientific exercise has ruined what might have been an instructive and even classical series of demonstrations.
Why do you not write them yourself?
I will, my dear Watson, I will. Mr. Viviani, your perspicacity astonishes me.
I assure you, it is only through study of the good doctor's masterly exposition of your work that I now have any small capacity to reason.
Really? You amaze me. Watson, you are a British jury. And I never met any man more eminently fitted to represent one. Now, gentleman, you have heard the evidence. Do you find the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
No, not guilty.
Vox populi, vox Dei. You are acquitted.
Manners maketh man, Holmes. It's just as well you are unique. Splendid air. Rough shooting. Perhaps a little fishing.
And your constant bullying to tidy our room in Baker Street.
Hardly constant.
Your early work.
It's before my biographer came to glorify
You mean
me.
you have records of your early work? I wish I had notes of these cases.
Yes, my boy. And how is the dear wife?
I'm not married, Holmes.
How wise?
entirely Welsh temper.
Oh, Watson.
Well, gentlemen, look, I have no intention of... So you see, it is unnecessary to make allowance for the personal equation. As the astronomers have dubbed it. Holmes, they're here.
Watson, do sit down.
I say, what a really remarkable and beautiful woman.
The fair sex is your department, Watson.
Valet out for the evening.
They always are.
Elderly housekeeper sleeps at the top of the house, heard nothing.
They never do.
Just before...
You know, should I bring this to a successful conclusion, it will certainly represent the crowning glory of my career.
Holmes!
Go! Watson, quickly, the tape. Watson, what are we doing here? We have work elsewhere, not a feather in your cap, Lestrade.
Arranged it 2 weeks ago. We were to have supper at my club.
Yes. He did mention it to me this morning.
I suppose you think I've added opium to smoking to all my other little weaknesses.
I merely said I was surprised to see you there.
As indeed I was to see you.
May I ask why I'm going to leave Kent in the middle of the night on a Friday in March?
Because you are my trusty comrade and my loyal chronicler, I may need both. Here are the facts.
A veritable paragon.
Watson, there's a hint of skepticism in your voice, which does you no credit.
I expect Mrs. Sinclair came to you saying that her husband had disappeared.
Exactly.
Well, it seems to be a continuous thread in life's fabric.
Watson, what is this? I suspect that Dr. Watson has a question to put to you.
I have no idea. But I do have an urgent request. It's now well past 4 in the morning. May I go to sleep?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Watson. Watson.
What time is it?
Dawn.
I've only had 2 hours sleep.
I wonder if you do me the very great kindness of considering the possibility of waking up.
Does it have to be this early?
I have a little theory I wish to test.
Is anyone's life at stake?
Certainly not.
Would it be possible to test your theory a little later this morning?
I'll see you downstairs in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Watson, you're in the presence of one of the most absolute fools in Europe.
You exaggerate.
I
Holmes.
deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross.
The moment you woke me up, I would have been
I've got
prepared
the
to
key, Watson.
Do it for you.
I should very much like to see him.
He'd probably be asleep. Most of the population is probably asleep, Holmes.
I'll take it with me.
It contains the key. I beg your pardon? Not a sign of a horse anywhere.
Watson, you have a blazing talent for observing the obvious.
Presumably they didn't abduct the child on the back of a cow. Well, that's where I'm going to try my luck. I'm hungry. Holmes.
Lunch! Of course, my dear fellow, you must be starving. Now, observe that map. You will see that there is a hostelry about 3 miles in this direction.
Insufferable lout.
How is it, Watson?
It is disgusting, Holmes. You see, there is the condition that the modern French psychologists have called an idée fixe. Now, if someone became obsessed with, say, an injustice committed...
My dear Watson, that won't do.
How do you explain it, then?
I don't attempt to do so.
I see.
No, I dare call nothing trivial, Lestrade. Some of my most classic cases have had the least promising commencement.
Yeah, that dreadful business of the Abernethy family.
Ooh.
I hardly call the dismemberment of an entire family trivial.
You know, my idée fixe. Finish your coffee. There's a cab at the door. 2 minutes.
Why not destroy it there?
The lamp!
By Jove, you're right.
Read all about it. Stand it.
Very cunning, Holmes.
Thank you, Watson. Lestrade. Milan. Then you have nothing to lose by, do you?
Except a good night's sleep.
Watson, if you've caught a cold, it's your fault. You left the rugs behind.
Sorry, Holmes. Have a humbug, Lestrade.
Watson, this is no time for humbugs. Grazie, signore. Morning, Watson.